Pep Talk UK. Pro Bs, once again, remember, subscribe, smash the bell for the latest notifications. And I'm delighted to be reunited with Boxing Supremo /expert, Mr. Barry Jones. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. Thanks. You good? You good?
I'm doing well. You know, I always have to get out the introduction for Barry Jones. Once he comes on the channel, it's got to be a big one.
Yeah, no one believes it, but yeah, thanks.
All right, look, 8-weight world champion Manny Pacquiao lost to Yordennis Ugas for the WBA Welterweight World Title. Right, your thoughts on the defeat?
Well, first of all, I seen you with Spencer Beeren. I know Spencer. Spencer's a lovely guy, and very few know the sport like Spencer does. But he makes out he was the only one who picked Ugas to win. No, he never. No, look at me, I'm a genius. I know he's massive on social media, isn't he? He's like, I told you. No, I told people. I do a podcast for the Mirror, and last week I picked Ugas. And for the main reason is that he's a good fighter, but the real reason was Pacquiao can't go on forever. That's the real thing. And I think it was evident, last night. It was just a case of he still has fast hands, he still has fast feet, but they're not his hands are still as fast, maybe. But the fluency is not quite there, though it was still good. The footwork is a lot slower than it used to be, though it's still fast. But the sharpness of the movements are not quite there. I think that was the difference. So, and I just think he struggled. But Ugas's jab just stopped everything. He slowed him down with the jab. The thing that other fighters couldn't do before. And I think with Pacquiao, he would move so fast. The thing with Pacquiao, he wasn't moving and punching at the same time, where he used to do before. And he's one of the only fighters who can really ever do it. Move around the target, not just at you, around the target, whilst he's throwing and moving. So you can move around, you can throw a punch and move around the target and throw again, or the other way around, move first, then throw. He does it while he's throwing. You can do it going forward. I used to do it. I'd throw punches going forward in flurries of bunches to get you, and I'd run away. But he does it round the target, and he couldn't quite do that the other night. And I think the jab just kept knocking him off balance all the time. So Ugas was smart, economical, very effective. And I don't think it was as close as the judges had it. I had Ugas winning quite widely, and I never thought it was any trouble for him. He got caught with a few shots. And I still think Pacquiao could still beat a lot of good welterweights. That's the worry. I hope he never fights again. I think he can still beat a lot of good welterweights. But he doesn't beat the top 4 in the world. So where does he want to go? That's the worry. Like if Spence was in, I thought Spence was an easier fight for Pacquiao than it was not an easy fight, a better match than Crawford, because Spence likes to work off. What's his name?
Ugas.
No, Pacquiao.
Yeah, sorry.
I've taken too many punches. And Pacquiao likes to work off when you throw straight punches, like certainly like Spence does. Pacquiao works off that straight line. That semicircle, he works off that. Where someone like Crawford punches from a little bit of a different angle, Pacquiao would have trouble with that. More trouble with that. I think with Ugas bending over the front foot a little bit, then a little bit lower, made it a bit more difficult for Pacquiao to work off him as well. I felt that. But Spence would have been so accurate and taken that step back, because the feet of Pacquiao are not as sharp and as fast as they once were. Then I thought he might have walked onto some heavy shots and been beat up and stopped against Errol Spence.
Yeah.
So I think
Pacquiao, he did mention that in the post-fight press conference that he had cramp. He had a cramp in his legs from the second round, and that hindered his movement for the rest of the fight. He wasn't as mobile, as we've seen before.
No, and that might be the case, but this is the worry though. And I said this earlier on to somebody. Fighters lie to them. We lie to ourselves. You have to lie to yourself, and like we're the biggest liars on the planet in many ways. we lie about weight, about our camp's gone, and we lie to ourselves about things that haven't been right for us. Because then those lies give you a false confidence that manifests itself into a real confidence in the end. But the fact that he's saying that means he's going to fight again. Now he's found a reason why. And also, one judge scorecard was by 2 points. The others were by 4. He can see if I didn't have those cramps, I could have nicked a couple of those rounds, and that fight's my fight. But it wasn't really. I thought, and now he'll come again. But why? For what? His legacy now, and I hate the word legacy, but he genuinely has a legacy. Every fighter is looking for a legacy, and now that's rubbish. I don't have a legacy. I won a world title, but I don't have a legacy. But he has a legacy for what he's done for his country, his community, and for what he's done for boxing, and for and generations of he's inspired fighters and generations of fighters. But if he loses every fight now, it doesn't harm his career. But he's never going to win anything that enhances his career either. Now I don't feel. How much money do you need? At 42, and he's taken a lot of damage throughout his career because of the way he fights. It can't be any good. The deterioration accelerates as you get older, as I'm finding out. And the more you fight, the worse it will get. And that's just that has to be a fact. Every person is different, of course. Some fighters it doesn't affect. I know some journeymen from my day. Miguel Matthews, who was a journeyman sort of, but he was a good fighter, but he thought he turned up at late notice. He lost more fights than most people had. And he's fantastic. He's great. I saw him a couple of years ago. You think he never had a fight in his life. He looks great, talks great, everything. And then other fighters, are literally talking to lampposts now because they had like 5 or 6 wars in their career. But like smoking and drinking and crossing the road with your eyes closed, the more you do it, the more risk of you getting hurt, and the more risk you catching some disease. And I think the more punches you take, and especially in a later life, the bigger risk to your health. And we don't want to be seeing Pacquiao in 15 years' time, which still makes him not an old man, by the way. I say that because I'm getting, I'm close to 50, but it doesn't make him an old man. We don't want to see him vacant, like we see so many fighters in the past, so many great fighters in the past. So I don't want to meet Manny Pacquiao one day and shake his hand and say, "Mate, like you were just brilliant," and him just look vacantly into the space, like I've met some great fighters in the past. We don't want that. Enjoy your life now. You've got all that money. You've dedicated your life to doing great things. Go and be a president of your country. Do something like that, or go and live a great life. You deserve it. Don't fight on now. But the fact that you've told me he's made an excuse about cramp, which might be genuine, sort of confirms the worst for me that he's going to carry on. And I don't want him to carry on because he can still be competitive, but he's going to take punches, and he's not going to beat Spence, and he's not going to beat Crawford. No, he's not. And someone like Virgil Ortiz might end up beating him as well. Sean Porter might be too much energy for him now. There's a worry there for me.
And of course, a lot of people remember that big knockout he suffered to the hands of Marquez, which is a hell of a shock, but long-lasting damage.
Let's not forget that he's had 9 fights, right? But not the 3 greatest Mexicans of all time, but 3 of the greatest Mexicans of all time. Yeah. He's had 9 fights for those. 9. That's a career-ending run of fights for anyone. Pereira, Morales, and Marquez, 9 fights in total with them 3. If that doesn't end your career, even if you win them all, imagine having 9 fights with them 3 lunatics. Like, that's enough, isn't it? That's enough. Yeah. You'd be physically spent. Not him. He went on to do greater things after them. This is mad, isn't it? It's just what he's done. Like, it will never be done again. I don't buy into all the 8-weight world champions stuff because that's only because they're more accessible. Of course, that's why that is. So you go through history, and who knows? There might be more. In 20 years' time, there might be more weights. There might be a super feather weight. Who knows what's going to go on? Or there might be 10 belts, and so people can win more titles. You just don't know what's going to happen. But to go from the skinny bag of bones he was in what they say, 96 or whatever it was,
Yep.
which he was, by the way. No, to the power punching welterweight he was back in like whenever it was 2012 or something like that, whatever. Just guessing. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Like and to still be boxing out today at the high level. By the way, let's not forget that. My only worry is he's a draw. Like Ugas wins the title, so you tend to think that if say Spence comes back and he's fine, that Ugas and Spence is the fight that Spence will want. But the TV company would still rather see Spence and Pacquiao again. That's the worry about it. Even though Ugas won, he's not exciting to watch, because that last night, even though it was quite engaging to watch, it wasn't exciting. And it's very rare that you say that about a Pacquiao fight. I mean, hugely rare you say that. I don't know if I've ever said that about a Pacquiao fight, but it hasn't been exciting to watch. And that really wasn't last night. It wasn't rubbish, but it wasn't exciting. And that was down to Ugas. And you give him credit for that. He slowed him down. So it's interesting to see what happens. But I'd like to see Pacquiao retire. But the fact that you told me about that, what he said in the post-fight press conference, means we're definitely going to see him again in the ring, which is so it's sad news for me. But I'm a hypocrite because I'll watch him. I will. I'm a hypocrite, but I watch him, but I don't. I'd rather see him retire.
I thought that fight he had against Jeff Hall when he lost the title, I thought he was harshly done by.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
real harshly done by. Yeah.
I thought you won.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Well, either way, right? It was. I didn't think he did win, right? I didn't think he won, but it was close, and I couldn't argue. But either way, and no disrespect to Jeff Horn, you shouldn't be having Pacquiao shouldn't be having a close fight with Jeff Horn. That's the truth of it. There shouldn't even be an argument who wins. It just shouldn't be. And that's when I thought he's done. He was done. But then I think he'd do. But then he reinvented himself. But like, you can't keep going forever. The older you get, the slower you get. Things just don't work the same as they used to, even if they still work better than most. That's the thing. See, he's still good. He can still be good. But you got nothing to prove. Why carry on? Listen, money's money. That's the problem. Someone offers him $6 million for a fight against Spence. How would you turn that down? It's like David Hay boxing Joe Fournier.
Yeah.
How does he turn? No, but I don't blame him. I don't blame them. I don't blame Joe Fournier. It's a chance of a lifetime. Staples Center, David Hay. It's a bucket list for a lot of fighters, things like that. And I don't blame David Hay because he's saying he's getting more than he got for boxing Bellew. I don't believe that for a minute because it's not even the chief undercard. It's like third on the list. But for him, in David Hayes' eyes, sorry, couldn't say that. In David Hayes' eyes, this is like an after dinner engagement for him. That's how he sees it. So he's thinking, I'll just turn up, even if he's getting £500,000, even if he's getting 100 grand. He's thinking, this is 100 grand for nothing. That's how he sees it. That's what he said. He said it's just a walk in the park. So I don't blame them. And that's why it's hard to criticize Pacquiao for wanting to have a fight with Spence if he gets offered or Crawford, because he might have 50 million in the bank, or he might have 150 million in the bank, but another 10 million, 6 million is hard to turn away, isn't it?
So is it a case of greed makes fighters fight on?
Yeah, well, most definitely is greed, but it's not greed as in like you don't need it, you don't deserve it. I don't know. It's just anyone. It's hard to turn anything away. Listen, if someone said to you, listen, I'm loving your channel, what you're doing now. We're going to make your channel the biggest channel of any sports ever. But you've got to wear a pink wig and a pink dress. Or you might like that, but you might like that. I don't know. But whatever, something that you really would hate to do, you got to do it. You got to sell your soul. But I'm going to give you wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Now, you got family, you got kids, yeah? So you're thinking, it's like, as much as you don't want to do it, you're thinking, this sets up my family for life. But then Pacquiao and people like that, they don't think about they think about my family and my kids and then their kids' kids and everything, the generations down the line. And like all of a sudden now the whole family tree of yours has gone from like a where you are now or where your family come from to just everyone's living in a castle. Do you know what I mean? It's like you would do it. You would do it tomorrow. You would do it. I can see you taking your trousers off now, thinking, "Oh, I'm a size 12." But, you know, it's as much as it would kill your soul, you would hate it. You would think about other people. So you know, it's greed. Like you can't blame these. Like I'm at peace with all this YouTube stuff now. I'm at peace with it all. I am it. Like we're still getting to see. We're still getting to see good fights. That's the important part. You know, we're still getting to see Canelo unify another division. You know, we're still getting to see Josh Taylor unify his division and forget about unify, but to fight the best in his division to prove he's the best. We're still getting these sort of fights. So and we're getting Joshua fighting Usyk. You know, we're gonna get Fury Wilder 3, which is a more intriguing fight than it was if it would have happened straight after the second fight, by the way. So we're getting to see good competitive fights, and we just got to put up with all this other stuff. And I can live with that every day of the week. That's not a problem for me.